Good afternoon. I'm so excited to be coming on with Anna, who is in the middle of the country. And we were used to be in Barcelona and Greece and Italy together. And we reconnected via LinkedIn. And she is a expert on all things home energy life and is about to give birth but is still on for some some Instagram live, so can't wait. Just gonna wait for her to jump in. Hey Holly, hey Nick. So Anna and I met back in 2010, right after I graduated high school. I think she had graduated from college, and hey, Anna, perfect. There we go. And we did not know that we would then be connected 10 years later over all things health and wellness. Hey, girl.
Hey girl, how are you?
Yes, I'm well. How are you feeling?
Oh, I feel good. I'm like 37 weeks pregnant, you guys, so I'm on baby watch. I was like, Liza, if I don't show
Yes.
up, like I'm having my baby. So
Really? I was like,
I'm still here.
I did not even realize that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Oh, you're
yeah.
feeling good?
Feel good. Yes,
Do you know
yes.
if you're having a boy or a girl?
Yes, it's a boy. So my second boy, I have a 2.5-year-old, and then, they'll be very close in age. I'm super excited. Thank you for having me, girl.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, a couple weeks ago we did a podcast together. It was just so much fun. So I wanted to showcase you and let you tell your story. I was starting to say that we met on a study abroad program about 10 years ago. You know, we
Mm-hmm.
were little and young and exploring the world for the first time, and didn't necessarily know what we were going to end up doing. And through different turns along the way, here we are in however you want to call it, the soul driven, purpose driven health and wellness world, which has been fun for me to explore. I think you've been in it and really empowering so many entrepreneurs and individuals and families that really our goal is to just share value and share impact with whoever wants to listen. So, so happy
Yeah.
to hear from you. And yeah, why don't you just introduce yourself and how you
Sure.
started Declutter with Anna?
Yes. So, hi guys. My name is Anna Ortiz-Aragon. I live in St. Louis, but I'm from San Francisco originally. And yes, Eliza and I met about 10 years ago on a study abroad program. I was fresh out of college. My first job out of college was actually working for a nonprofit for foster kids in California. So I was like the admin girl, the marketing girl, and that was like my first real job. And I ended up getting laid off like in my first year of employment. And I was like so scared. I didn't know what was going on. But I was like, okay, the universe has other plans for you. So then I became a teacher. So I started working, I moved up to wine country. So I left like the Bay Area, went up to wine country. And I started working as a teacher, a special ed teacher. So I worked with kids K through 12, special ed, emotional disturbance mostly. So these kids were in and out of juvie, on probation,
Wow.
basically like the last stop before residential treatment. So they had been kicked out of all the other school districts for behavior mostly and like
Wow.
emotional outbursts. And it was amazing. Like my first job, it was a one-on-one with this 12-year-old boy, and he was AWOL every single day. Like he just was like, I'm not doing this. This is bullshit. Like I don't want to be here. And it was wild, but it was like it was so meaningful for me. Like he literally changed my life. All the other kids changed my life. I got to be with the kindergartners and then the elementary, the middle school, the high school. And then I thought I was going to be a teacher. So I moved to St. Louis. I got a scholarship. I was going to go to MOBAP and get my teaching credential, master's degree. And I started it. And then I was like, you know what? I don't want to go back to school. Like, I already finished college. This was like, I don't know, 4 years after college. And I just didn't want to commit for like another 2 years. And also I saw that like we weren't serving kids the way that I think they needed to be served. Like basically, you know, trying to get them to do this curriculum and sit still when they're having these like really serious problems at home, essentially. And so
So tough.
I, yeah, girl. And I was like, you know, I've always been a soccer coach, volleyball coach, basketball coach, and I just wanted to like serve these kids in a more holistic way. And
Mm,
then I became like a surprise single mom. So that was like, hello, universe. And so I was working in juvenile detention up until the day my son was born here in St. Louis. And I was like, you know what? No, like I love these kids. I love them, but my son is going to need me. Like my son is also a boy. Basically, all the kids that I were working with was boys, you know, like there's definitely an issue with like gender and like masculinity, and women kind of get away with murder. Like women are out here committing crimes, but they are not in juvenile detention anywhere close to the boys, you know?
mm,
Um, and just the dysfunction in the family was like really breaking my heart. So I was like, okay, you're gonna be like, you're gonna help these families differently. So I started a lot of health and wellness. I did some yoga. I'm a certified yoga teacher. I became a certified Reiki Master. And then I was like, you know, it all starts in the home. So I became a professional organizer. And all of my clients are moms, you know, like 100%. They're also business women. So they're like female mother entrepreneurs, and they just need help. You know, they are working on their business, and they're basically all healers as well. It's so funny, like the overlap, you know, like all of my moms have their own like elderberry syrup, or they're chiropractors, or, you know, they do wellness, diversity, women empowerment stuff. And I'm like, okay, so the best way that I can serve these women so that their stuff is more magical is to help them get their home together, you know, like win cooperation with the kids, you know, get help from the partner. If you have a spouse in the house, like they should be helping you. It shouldn't be all about the women, like
yeah.
definitely not. So yeah, so I did that, and then Corona hit, and I was like, oh snap. Like I was working in everybody's home, and then we can't go to people's homes anymore. So basically, since I've been pregnant and during Corona, I've been building my online business, and I've
Yeah.
decided,
Huge.
huge, like major pivot. I was scared. It was intense. It was very abrupt and blunt and
Yeah.
kind of hardcore, like for everybody, literally, you know, like luckily my toddler is in preschool. So it wasn't a huge difference. We're not doing the virtual school because he's still really young. However, I needed to radically transform my business. So I was like, okay, Anna, you're going to be a teacher and a healer, but just in another way. And so
Yeah.
I began one-on-one coaching. I started a soulful entrepreneurship mastermind for business owners. That's
Awesome.
an 8-week course. I started a membership, and basically just serving my moms virtually and allowing like my voice and inspiration and insight to be like the power force here.
Uh,
So I'm really loving it and really connecting with other healers. And I just love what Eliza does. I have a podcast and she was on there. And I just want to share all the other women and men doing this type of work. Like, this is the way business is changing. This is the way families are changing. The world is changing. You know, Corona really showed us that we were, you know, not paying attention to our kids, not really, you know, paying attention to our space, overworking. Like rush hour was just proof, in my opinion, that we were just doing way too much. And although it was intense and really scary, very abrupt, I think it was absolutely necessary to show us like what really matters in life.
Getting that grounded feeling. And ironic that you were pregnant during it as well. So much to comment on with your journey, but given your impending new boy coming into the world, what are some tips that you would share if you were coaching yourself? If you were,
Ooh.
how are you going to be establishing norms in your home to make it as calm and easy as possible?
Totally, girl. Well, I am a big fan of empowering the kids. You know, like one of my best friends is a Montessori school teacher. So I've learned a lot from her. And basically, their entire philosophy is teaching life skills and responsibility from a young age, so the kids have like their own little table, their own little bookshelf, they have their own little cubbies, and it's up to them to participate, to learn how to put their stuff away, to learn to do free artwork and things like that. So like what I'm going to focus on with my kids is making sure that they all have their own safe space, because I think, if you don't have a safe space in your home, I was thinking about all of my kids, like they probably have no privacy, no place to just go and like cry and be by themselves or be angry or just talk to their friends or decompress at all. So making sure that my boys have spaces in the home like dedicated for them. Also like a lot of outside time. I think that Corona has like kind of helped us reconnect with nature, like we can't really go inside to do all these shopping or restaurant experiences like we used to, but we can go outside. And that is like, one of the greatest medicines is sunshine, fresh air, and movement. Movement is so important. Like all the boys that I worked with, I was like, yo, if we're trying to get you to sit in a chair for 7 or 8 hours, like you're not moving any of this energy, this trauma that we need to move, so movement is going to be crucial. I also think art and expression is very crucial, whether we're verbally talking to each other. A lot of my kids, we wouldn't write it down. We would verbally discuss the assignments because it was just easier and they would pay attention more.
As you're saying these things, they're things that I need to do and that like my adult friends need to do. We can all benefit from having our space feel safe, from nature, from
right.
all of this. Sorry to cut you off.
No, it's all good. Yeah, I agree. I mean, we are humans. So like the kids, we should all be doing like kind of similar things throughout our lifetime, right? Like it's not like you're a kid and then you stop and then you have to do this other job when you're an adult. Yeah. It's like, hey, let's keep it moving. Like, yeah, like cooking, like I was blessed with really wonderful parents who cooked from scratch and were really confident in the kitchen. And like my boys, you're going to be up in there. You're going to know what to do. You're going to know how to do your laundry. Like you are going to be self-sufficient. And also giving them a lot of room to explore like what their interests are. Like maybe they want to do like karate or, gymnastics or some sports that I didn't play, but like, hey, that's cool. Like you got to express yourself in your own way.
Yeah, just total empowerment. And I feel like is what you do in your mastermind and all of your type of work. But I am curious because before coronavirus, like what would be your sort of ideal, or even if you're doing it from home, sort of the biggest needs of some of the moms, in order to be the best versions of themselves as healers or whatever their passion is.
Yeah.
Some key components in the home. I know you're really into feng shui and
yes. Yeah. Well, let's see. So before Corona, I feel like I had a really sweet routine. I was going to like 3 different yoga classes every week. I had, like lunch dates and coffee dates with my work friends. I had like a pretty solid social circle. I was listening to podcasts, audibles, so getting that intellectual stimulation, spending a lot of time outside. Yeah. And alone without my partner, so I think that all of those things are wonderful. But like when the Corona hit, it's kind of like you're in the house. We're spending an average of 9 hours more in the home than we ever did before. 9 hours is like a big difference, right?
Okay.
So we're being confronted with like all of the unfinished business, right? Like all the things that we have like swept under the rug, maybe closed away in a closet. Like now you can't avoid it. You got your kids in the home, maybe you are setting up school stations for them, and then your job might have been transferred from home, and just really, re-examining how we use our space. So the one thing that I really am like a huge fan of is simplifying. Like my business is Declutter with Anna. So I think decluttering, simplifying, and getting rid of anything that does not inspire you, light you up, make you feel, super excited and passionate, like can go. Like we just don't have
So
space for
big.
that right now.
Yeah,
Especially if your kids and the partner are in the house with you all the
so much.
time. Like, let's get some of that out.
It is so much. Yeah, I moved during quarantine, and that was definitely an exercise of like, this is my space and only my stuff that I really, really want in here. But
Right.
I've heard from some moms and just sort of, even in my building, of reorganizing the space and finding that calm. And even I live alone, and I've reorganized my space to really find that right flow.
Yep.
um, and also, as part of my business is helping people swap to different products and routines and things, but I think the first step is always decluttering, and working with what you have existing. You think you
Yep.
need more, you think you need new, but that's just our sort of consumerism drive for more. What do you already have? What would bring you more by getting rid of? Less is more, they say, but
Yep.
literally. And then some people are like, oh, I want this, I want to try that product, and I'm like, wait, like, let's just go one step at a time and
Yep.
really just be patient with ourselves.
Absolutely, girl. Yeah, I think, you are trying to change like 30 years of habits. So to think that you're going to flip your house overnight, like Marie Kondo and the home edit, is
Yeah.
kind of, not realistic, especially
Okay.
if you're thinking about like, yo, these are actually mental and emotional blockages that have been preventing me from dealing with the material stuff in my
Yeah.
house. Like
It's
there's,
all in here, and then it's just kind of outwardly manifested in that stuff in
yes,
your home.
it's deep. It runs in your childhood. Like, how did your parents take care of their home? Your
Yeah.
caregivers, your grandparents, were they
Yeah.
even aware or connected to their environment? Maybe not, because they were working all the time. We have this like survival instinct, which is wonderful. That's like the reptilian brain, but we are, living in a vastly different world than back in the day when we really had to worry about our safety all the time. And now I think the safety we need to worry about is like the conditioning from advertising, consumerism, social media, and just like
Mhm.
cleaning out everything. Like, too much noise is overstimulating, and
Mhm.
that can make people
I,
shut down, depressed. It can make your
yes.
body go out of whack, your mental
Yes.
health. It's
Me right
deep.
here. I
Hmm.
mean, yes, I feel it. Like, there was a point in maybe in March or April, I wrote down a list, like on a Google Doc, all of the things I'm consuming, whether it be, friends, people who I'm listening to, the apps, and the frequency at which. And I realized how this little, I mean, it's big, but how this brain inside is just on overload. And, yeah, I'm a health coach, and I help people like help them become healthier and cut out some of the things that aren't serving them. And I still have it as a daily practice. So I think you being there as that supportive person to guide the way and
Hmm.
inspire is just so much of what we need. Because, yeah, we know we should be on our phones less, but here we are.
Hmm. Hmm.
We use it to the best ability that we can.
Absolutely, girl.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I even feel that like in my head, like literally right on top of my head, in my eyes. So,
Hmm.
anyone who's watching, thanks for watching. But maybe after this, take a little break from
Yeah,
social media and
absolutely.
everything that we have. Yeah, and I'd love to learn more about Reiki and astrology and all things that you're into, as some people may or may not be familiar, and you might inspire them to look into their human design or their
Yes.
astrological signs.
Totally.
And it.
Yes. Yes. So I was blessed with like a super hippie mom. Okay. And she had like tarot readers, astrologers, mediums, like all these like beautiful people come into the house when we were little. Like they were her friends, but also she wanted us to have readings like as children and to grow up knowing about these different things. My sister wasn't really into it, but like I was always super into it. And then I started self-studying, like looking at the magazines and being like, oh, I'm a Gemini. Like, what does that mean? Or, oh, I don't know, like, what are these decks of cards for? Like, what are the gypsies doing here? And I just had this like curious mind, right? So as I got older, and I think a lot of it really, really stepped in when I was a single mom because I spent so much time alone and I was just kind of looking for answers, like,
Yeah.
how did I get here? Like, what the fuck,
Yeah.
And so, and so, like, I don't know, I just started attracting wonderful healers. I love astrology. I use it with all of my clients. Numerology is amazing, which
Mhm.
is basically the science and study of numbers. Each number has a frequency, and obviously, like a lot of numbers are involved in astrology. Human design is another wonderful new I guess, technique that I've been introduced to about a year ago. And when I found out that I was a projector, there's like five
Me
main
too.
types. Are you? Oh,
Yeah.
yes. It completely changed my life and it completely changed my day to day and how I run my business because really it's about how your energy flows. And, some of these things are kind of complicated. So, for example, the human design includes astrology, the I Ching, the Kabbalah, the tree of life. The human design is intense. So, you can find readers, you can find podcasts, you can find YouTube videos, books about it.
Yeah.
Astrology is like a little bit easier. And I would say numerology is probably the easiest because there's only so many digits, right? Like 0 to 10, 11. There's only so many numbers.
Okay.
Yes, but I find that it's basically like another form of personality test, and it just gives you like really concrete ways, practical tips to go about your day, and it kind of explains your childhood. Like I started looking into my mom, like what is my mom's stuff? What is my dad's human design in astrology? What is
Yes.
my
So
sister's
real.
moon sign and Mercury and Mars? And then
Yeah.
ex-boyfriends, and I was like, oh my god, like everything makes sense. So I use
Wow.
it as a
Powerful.
major tool, yeah, to really get to know yourself and to
Yeah.
know kind of like your karmic patterns, like what have you
Yeah.
been attracting in your life and
Yeah.
why. So I find knowing yourself is like really the key to healing. And and then once you know yourself, you're just gonna be attracting all these beautiful other people who are on the same path of unlearning, deconditioning, moving forward, and
Where
doing
I'm
so
at.
with grace, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's not overnight. Like you're not gonna flip your house and declutter everything overnight. You're not gonna look at your astrology one time and
Right.
have
That
all
would be
the
spiritual
answers.
bypassing, which I
Exactly.
am a victim or culprit of.
Yeah, me too. Probably
Myself.
both,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. I mean, but I think the self-awareness, self-reflection piece is so important. And I'm curious, in your soulful entrepreneur mastermind, is that a component, a piece that you guys work through? And I even saw on your story this morning, if
yes.
you're a manifestor, if you're a projector, here are ways that you might approach your business.
Exactly. Yes, I use it in my Soulful Entrepreneurship Mastermind. Like that's definitely one of the topics that we hit in my one-on-one coaching. I talk about it a lot in my membership. And then I offer readings. I'm still learning, but I can help you digest your chart, and really connect some dots for you. And then I encourage you to learn so you can do your own family and
Yeah, huge,
friends.
huge.
Because then you're just gonna see these patterns that maybe you weren't aware of before. And noticing the patterns is like key to change, right? We have to like
Huge.
identify what's going on, and then
Notice.
we can choose differently, right?
Huge. Huge. I mean, I really thought that we we do have control of our mindset, absolutely, and we can make decisions. However, oftentimes when a deep rooted pattern from childhood about a need that wasn't met and something that has been happening since high school. It's really hard to break, you know, even for me, it's like, okay, loneliness, binge eating, those things are really connected. I know it consciously, so
Yep.
consciously, and I know it's a pattern. So why does it still feel so challenging? And kind of what are the other facets that are interconnected? Is something I just love exploring. Um,
Absolutely, girl.
yeah.
Yes.
Are you into
I,
like ancestral healing and kind of looking back at
oh yeah.
multiple generations and all? I've been listening a lot on that and sort of the burdens and or the things that our descendants and people before us could not necessarily come into, and that's part of our responsibilities.
Absolutely, girl. Yeah, I think knowing your past is crucial. You know, like we don't want to marinate in the past, but I think knowing about it
Yeah.
allows us to grow, you know, because there are like thousands of ancestors behind you, you know, past lives if you're into that. Um, and, you know, if we don't look into it, we're just going to keep repeating the same pattern. And like the goal is to evolve as humans, as, you know, a collective species. Like we want to evolve, we want to move forward. And if we don't look back and understand what our people used to do, who were way more connected to nature, who used singing and chanting and community as like major healing foundations, food as well, growing your own food, like they just, you know, a lot of things, obviously there wasn't a lot of like medical assistance and things like that, but they did have a lot figured out. And you know, as we move on, it became very industrial, like the industrial revolution totally turned us out, you know, TV, radio, that really changed so many things for us where we were overstimulated. But back in the day, it was like, hey, we were more relaxed because we were just chilling in nature. And, you know, even motherhood, like we had the village, and schooling, we had the village. Yeah, so I think getting back to your roots is crucial because we are human beings. You know, we can evolve spiritually, like as far as you want to go. But if you don't remember that you have a body and you have a home and you have a family and there's other people here, you could, you know, lose a lot of like the pleasure and wonder that is being human.
Oh, so powerful, so powerful. And yeah, I'm just feeling that. And then also using your space to honor that and having whatever it is for you, the altar, the picture, the plant, the
Hmm.
thing that honors and reminds you of your ancestors and your existing family. I think that is, no matter who your family is or what your relationship is with them, I think it's so important.
Exactly. Yeah, your space should be like your sanctuary, you know, like your little temple. And if you want to make offerings to your ancestors, whether it's like immediate ancestors, like your grandma who passed away, your great grandma, or even further back, like my people who I may or may not ever know of, I
Mm.
know that like I have deep Peruvian roots, you know, and I have shaman roots. And I also, my mother is from East, like Europe, you know, so she has like Viking roots and English roots and Irish roots. And it's like, hey, I might not ever know them. Like, you know, a lot of people have passed away, but like, I still want to show love and honor them and take that wisdom with me. So there are readers you can talk to, there are decks you can play with, you know, like past life decks. I've learned a lot through that. And also Reiki can help you with that. Reiki is something that I love and stumbled upon, I don't know, like 7 years ago. And then I finally became a master after I got married with my husband. I was like, hey, I'm going to just train and do this. And you can connect with your guides and ancestors through Reiki. And that is essentially moving the energy in your body. So, first, it's like knowing yourself, right? You learn about yourself, you identify the patterns, you
Yeah.
know, you connect the dots, but then you have to move the energy. And, you know, talk therapy can really only get you so far. I really believe that there's got to be some meditation work, some sound healing, some energy movement. And, then you're going to be able to do things differently because you've moved the stagnant energy, whether it's in your home, your
Yeah,
body, like all of the body aches and, back aches, neck aches, like those are tied to emotions.
I am there.
Yes.
In it. I am in it. Yes.
Yeah, girl.
Yeah. We all are at all times, but I'm very much in the like talk therapy yesterday. The feelings are there.
Hmm.
Gotta figure out how to move.
Yep, you got to move it out, and you can do it with a practitioner or you can self-study, you know what I mean? There are plenty of
That's,
books, plenty of healers that you can follow,
yeah.
meditations that you can tap into. So we are our own best healer,
I,
It's not like you need to hire like a gang
yeah.
of folks,
Say it.
spend all your money like, hey, it's in here.
Me, like a year ago, I was like, I need everyone.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
it's very much like I know what I've learned. They're really great. I need support. I like having a coach, keep me accountable, but
Yeah.
I got my books over there.
Yes, yes, girl.
I can do it.
Yes, you can. We all
Just
can.
sitting. It's just sitting and feeling
Yep.
and moving. Yeah. Oh, I know. My old roommate used to organize our books by color. I tried to do that over here, but then I just organized them by type.
Yeah,
I don't know
I
if you have
understand.
thoughts on that.
Yeah, well, the Home Edit is like the new organizing Netflix show, and they
Yeah.
are all about color. And color is beautiful because color therapy is real, like there are colors that match and make us feel better, that actually lift our mood and improve our immunity and things like that. However, if you're maybe more of cerebral person, you might want your categories. Like, okay, so this is
Yeah.
husband's books, these are my books, these
Yeah.
are baby books, or category, like these are my health books,
Yeah. I
these are
have.
my business books. So, it's all up to you. Like, there's
Yeah.
no one answer for everybody, and just leaving a lot of room for trial and error. Like,
Yeah.
you got to experiment.
Yeah. Ooh, I will say, and then we'll let you go. I love like recycled, like reused. Like obviously, it's nice to have your own like fresh stuff that you picked. But when I was moving in here, one of the girls was moving out of the building, and it just so perfectly worked out what she was giving away. And I love these. Like for anyone who has like a little work from home station, these little like roller stands with drawers. I
Yes.
can do, and I have one over there. I can just move them around. So
Oh,
that's
yeah. Those are great for kids
great.
too. Art
Yeah, like
supplies.
stuff like that.
Yes.
The hidden storage space. Yes. Totally.
Totally. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I'm a big fan of, being sustainable. Like I'm such a Mother Earth girl that, I'm from San Francisco, that you don't need to go and buy like 1,000 containers to put all your stuff in. Like use what you have. Do you
Yeah.
have some boxes? Do you have some baskets? Some ceramic bowls? Like use all that stuff, and like when I got my house in St. Louis, I was using OfferUp and Facebook Marketplace
Yeah.
to buy these like beautiful things because otherwise they're just going to sit in the landfill.
Yeah.
So,
Yes. Yes.
yeah.
Recycling. Huge.
Hmm.
Being resourceful. I think that's
Totally, girl.
such a big theme. Ah, so inspired. Thank you so much for coming
Thank
on.
you.
We could go
Yes.
so deep one day into everything Reiki, numerology, whatever you want. Just sharing
Yes.
value and your passion. But take it easy. You got a baby on the way.
Thank you, girl. Yeah, thank you
Yeah.
so much, Eliza, for having me. I'm so
Yeah.
blessed that
And
we
you're,
met and reconnected like 10 years later. That just goes to show you, like, the journey that is life, right? So,
uh,
yeah.
where can people find you? Our friend Mazzili wants to get in touch.
Yes, yes. Okay, so my website is declutterwithanna.com. All of my socials are Declutter with Anna. I have like tons of free content on there. I have a podcast, a YouTube channel, a Facebook group, and I'm excited because Eliza's really showing me how to use like Instagram, these live videos. I would
So
love
fun.
to do more partnerships and things like that. Yes, yes. Thank you,
Great.
girl. This is beautiful.
Great. I'll upload and I'll put your handle on there. Great.
Yay!
Thank you so much, Anna. We will be in touch soon. And please
Yes.
let us know if you have any questions or thoughts, comments, want to show your reorganized home after watching the home edit, or just trusting yourself.
Yeah,
Please.
freestyling.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank
Okay.
you, everyone.
For the rest of your day.
You too. Bye, girl.